Alright. I honestly have absolutely no idea how to play this game. This is the first time I ever play a Warhammer game at all. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes. I've never done anything like this before. Sure. So, it's the first time I've ever started this.
There can be no victory. The darkness always returns. Legends tell that these words were spoken by Sigmar, the first emperor. Some believe he had a vision of what was to come. But Sigmar uttered truth, not prophecy. The darkness always returns.
I really like the graphics and the voice acting so far.
When the Skaven conquered Ubersreich, the flame of defiance guttered. The Reichland should have been lost, but heroes arose, and the Vermintide was repelled. Desperate for revenge, the Ratmen struck a pact with the barbarians of the Chaos Wastes, the worshippers of the Dark Gods. Once again, the Reichland stands upon the brink. Once again, heroes are needed.
But I want to be a rat. I don't want to be a hero.
In the very hour of victory, the saviors of Ubersreich were taken, seized by the treacherous foe. With every dawn, hope fades. After all, if the greatest can fall into darkness, what chance can there be for those who remain?
Long live the rats. So yeah, this is my first time ever playing. Oh, I can look around. Not very far though. Okay. This is looking great. I don't know what I expected, but I'm very pleasantly surprised. Am I a human in a cage or a rat in a cage? Either way, I'm in a cage. And this looks cool. I assume I'm a human in a cage. His name is Birdvar. What a name. Uh-oh, where am I going? Whoa! I'm falling. Okay. Also, I hope my camera is not in the way of anything important. Yeah, I know how to move in games. Bonk. Bonk. Okay. Oh. Okay. Is there anything I can pick up? Oh. That's the sound of an enemy, I think.
And free already. I was just about to help you with that cage.
Oh, he lost his head!
Yes.
What?
skittergate shaking up this place. The time is now.
Huh?
All right, but
You were on your way to being sacrificed, so you can thank me later. Now go, find the others.
Oh,
I
I
have work
absolutely,
to do.
yeah, I absolutely hate it when games tell me the controls, but in Swedish. Uh, okay, I need to block apparently.
a little something for you, Northlander.
2 hits only. Okay. Let's see. Oh, you were a little more. Not a lot though. Ow!
You ain't the only one who could take big swings, wax scum.
Rude. He hit me. Whoa! When can I play a rat? I want to be a rat. Borden. How do I get you out? Can I get you out?
Guess I found my first one. Get me out of this thing.
I'm trying.
I'm on it, Gorrickson. Won't leave without ya.
F? I have a special ability? Whoa! Okay. That's kind of cool. Didn't kill them, but... that is pretty cool. Let me say, my friend. Can I run? No.
Well, the more tools, the better. Better get that bow.
Bow? There's a bow somewhere? Oh. How did you see that when I didn't? Ammunition crate. Oh. Okay. I missed. I missed! Okay. I'm not good at aiming. Did you scratch your head after you lost it? Okay. Can I scroll? Yes, I can. Explosive barrel? Hold on. Can I can. Okay. Cool. Oh, go. Alright. Armored enemies. Gross. Well, what's your weak spot then? Ow. Okay. Push? What do you mean, push? Can I get up? No. Well, he seems to have having a great time.
Bardin, hush! Keep a lid on it, all right? There you are! Down into the right! Move those long legs of yours!
Oh, revive. Hello. Alright. Medical supplies.
Some bandages over there. I'll fetch
Oh,
them. Have to patch
there we
you
go.
up. Second your sweet time, aren't you?
You're very ungrateful. Bardin, whatever your name was.
Alright, ready to kill your way out of here? Ha! You manlings and yet stupid.
Okay. Okay.
Hi, I heard ya.
Hello.
Police are up your out.
Bomb. Okay.
Set up some kind of portal for us on the surface.
Hello.
One eye is already there.
And Sienna?
We'll look for her now.
Sure.
Okay, nice.
Supplies over there. Better stock up.
Ooh. Already equipped, I see. Potion of strength. I think I do strength. Ooh. Hold on. Outfire. Okay. Stop burning, please. Thank you.
All familiar sounds, mates. Vermin are being burned.
Aye, good.
Oh. Hello. Alright. I guess I have to finish all of this before I can do the PvP thing.
Oh, this bloody thing, the gate summit. What does the crone call it?
The skitter gate. But no time for talking, Marcus. Move!
The skitter gate.
Okay.
But we need less talk and more lifting platform mayflies.
Oh. Let's do that. That didn't do anything. Not anything useful. Yeah, I shouldn't use all my arrows, I think. I think I'm out of ammo, actually. Oh, they're behind me. Hello. Gotcha. So many. Huh? Let's go. Uh-oh. Okay. Let's go, team.
So far, this definitely beats the cage.
It's so short.
But then again, we're going up a bloody high cliff on a skaven contraption. Can't remind me of some of the racky ungat platforms are more lethal than their ungat weapons.
Listen, we're not dying from anything wrought by Skaven force today, darling. Not after this.
Can we talk about that? I mean, this, a solid gate, Skaven together, Alicia in my head.
And the eternal shame of being fooled and caught by a rat.
Ah, you're wearing Grumley's name, are we? Spell like Uber's right.
Darlings, one at a time. From what Alicia told me, we have a disaster to deal with. But I think we all had that figured out. And yes, apparently we're in Helmgard.
The remains of Helmgart. The weavers in agony, twisted and torn asunder by corruption.
Toll's teeth. Back to normal for us then.
This way.
Remember, we're not clear yet, mates. Find that portal and Saltspire. Are we seriously about to hop into some magic real? Expecting I mean, look at this. Oh, Sigmar, save us.
I've seen nothing of its like. Not even close. power to cause such destruction? Simply terrifying.
To me!
Okay, that's a friend.
It is good that you all made it out.
Thought it was an enemy. Yay! I made it. Can I do PvP now? I want to be a rat. Whoa! Oh, the rats look so fun. Yes, that is why I got the game. I want to do that. You have a sword, you look kind of cool. Claim. Mirror selection.
Welcome to our keep. Not as homely as the Red Moon, perhaps, but it's safe, secluded, and sturdier than it looks. Most importantly, it's ideal as a secret base from which to wage a war of resistance. Or rather, Alicia has made it ideal. The portal she opened up to bring you here is powerful Ulgu magic. The Bridge of Shadows. It's what we'll use to get you people to where you need to be. A lot quicker than our old cart, I tell you. So take a look around the place, and when ready, have a gander at the map. There's always work to do.
Alright.
If you're gonna go out fighting the good fight against these here pact sworn, you're gonna need the right gear. Stop by the Emporium of Wonders whenever you'd like. Long as you've got the shillings, we can come to an agreement.
Alright then. What's this? Microtransactions. Lovely. Daily reward. I mean, I'm not saying no to that. Margolis scene.
Maybe it's for the best.
Yes. Okay. That's the wrong button. Okay.
You reckon you can stop throwing those practice dummies off the mountain? Those things are expensive.
Heroic deed. What's in the Twitch thing? Play against your Twitch chat. Oh, okay. I guess. Alright. What is this? Tailored mission, consumed upon completion. Okay. I have nothing. I don't want to do a custom game. Quick play. Random mission with a bonus reward. Okay. I mean, I'll start on recruit. Oh, that was very quick indeed.
The distraction, and you're just the fellows to make it for me. Ring out them bells.
Oh, I hope there's a built-in voice chat.
Are in Elmgart's Temple of Sigmar. Give them a good clatter, and you'll draw every iron blade for miles around. Why, you ask? Our friendly neighborhood magic spy, Alicia, needs to gather vital intelligence on the Skittergate. Figure you could help her out. Malaya, guide my steps. I think it's this way.
What's this? Okay, I already have it apparently. Hmm? Reach the temple. Oh, chest.
Do not let that bomb go to waste. Sweet Grundy's Lord.
Oh, that's a big boy. Okay, this guy is fun.
That's the street. Come on.
The Blight Storm has
Reload. I should probably save some. Wrong way. Okay, there we go. So much chaos. Another bomb, I already have one. Nice. Okay, so we have one bot and the other two are people. I see.
You've been around Gorikson for too long.
Aye?
Raki. You called them Raki.
I did not. Wonder what the rat men are up to. That's what I said.
Ha! Have it your way.
These manlings fought to their last. I'll give them that.
I don't know what that means, but I got it.
Sweet drink, Barazi.
Oh, nice. Now we're all people. The mage seems fun too. What does my special attack do? Oh, oh, okay, okay. Now I understand the comment he made.
I see you, godless scum. Face me if you dare.
Survive until the gate opens. Oh lord. I'm sure we'll be fine.
How they come to the slaughter.
Don't you attack my teammate. Alright. So far so good. Maybe I should try using a bomb. Okay. I didn't even have time to damage him, I think.
Wrestling sparring! Move!
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, that's fine. I'll just swing at him.
I like what I see, Silver. Nice trail of
Hey! We made it! You wanna fight more? Hello. Oh. What is this? Where am I? Ow. Ow. Ah, I got hit again. Jesus. Okay.
There is a lifting platform. Fire rat's dead.
Can I use this on myself? I can. Okay. Think we're good. Nice.
Just a little touch-up, Talon.
Easy, Bardin. I'm not made of stone.
No tears. Won't bring them back. Through the door.
Okay, never mind. They're going the other way. Guess I follow. Two of them are higher level than me, so I should trust them.
Which eye do you want this?
Okay, nice.
Saggy on the lurk.
I don't know what that is, but
That's a hot rat. We've got the strangler. Follow me.
what do we have here? Something healing. Ah! Concentration, I think that's for shooting. Coming. That's a lot. Okay. Think we're good. Oh, upstairs. I see. I lost the stairs for a bit. Okay, that was quick. Assume it because these guys are higher leveled.
Bollocks. You still know ale. Right away, yes.
Alright, cool. I don't know if it's like things you should find along the way, like collectibles. I have no idea. Oh. What is that? I feel like I'm doing good, but I don't know.
Must have fought alongside Sigma. My ancestors fought alongside everyone, Grimgate, and with each other. That's hard. God's sword everywhere.
Whee! Oh shit. I think I'd rather have the medical supplies. Whoa! I hear someone big. Let me reload first, actually. Whoa! That's a big boy! Alright. Alright, we're good. Get him! That's a lot of people! You go.
Can't burn through that in time, darlings. We need an alternative. Think bigger, darlings. What about the cannon?
Mm.
The crane can?
Big on. Ow, ow. That hurt. Okay, let's go.
There's a backstabber scampering nearby.
See. Ow. Who needs help? Ah, okay. I can't get up there, so I'll have to go around and use the ladder over here.
I'll slay every last one.
Cool. Ow. Ow, ow. Ow, 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 ow. Ow. Oh, let's heal.
Holy Sigma, bless this ravaged body. Come on over here. Keep going, Gringbarazzi. Almost there.
There we go.
By the hammer and fire. Another dead weapon rat.
There we go.
Pass my scent. Bless
Reloaded. Ow, I missed.
You missed all of them, Swan. Now that takes practice.
well, I've not had enough to drink.
Oh. Wonder what my heavy does. Ah, it stabs. I see, I see, I see. I am poisoned.
Reach, Prowling. Yeah, lad. Gobbles, the lot of you. Multi-round.
Ow.
Your flame's still burning. Let's find it for you.
Alright. Cool.
This looks like the way down.
Let's go.
Well, it's a funny way to get here, but it worked.
Follow! I know the way. Let's see how best to tie this off.
Okay, never mind. They healed up.
The potion, right here, mates. Do you know how to fight past well, Baldin? I bet you've stories. Of
Sneaky.
course. Though most go better with a drop of Bugman's. Especially the one about Ockery and the Troll Queen. Ooh, fearsome
So there
and
is stuff to
amorous
explore.
warlag. Oh, you're not to tell Ockery.
Good to know. Oh, yes, please. Okay, let's reload.
Someone kill that fucking slag. Ockery's dead. Down the hatch.
Oh, trying to shoot my teammate instead. Good job, me.
Lovely shot.
Oh, here's the rat ogre.
Try to hold this place.
This game is really nice.
Spread out. One of us has to reach that flight door.
Ugh. Okay, at least we're all inside. Okay, so this is like... we need to hold down the fort. Probably gonna be waves of enemies. Yeah, survive. We need to find whoever is placing those, I believe. Oh, I am dying. Yeah, okay, I got away. We're good. I'm good. Don't know for how long. Okay. Oh. Ow, ow, ow. I'm out of ammo. Can't shoot then. Alright. We're good. We're good. I'm good. I'm fine. Sort of. Oh! He grabbed me! Yeah, sure, we're winning. I think so. I have yet to figure out how to do the PvP thing. But I'm having fun. I want to play as a rat. But I do like these game modes too. Ow, 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 ow. Oh yeah, I have this. So far I haven't died, so, you know. I'm pretty happy. Oh. Okay, nice. So far, so good. I would love some healing, honestly. Oh, I think I'm gonna die.
Pending markers.
Whew. Did we make it?
Did that door just open? Lona has his destruction. And a fiery lesson.
There's no fall damage?
Time to go.
Oh. Okay, I see. Yay, made it! I didn't die a single time. Oh, I got a lot of XP here. I unlocked the crossbow. Nice. Okay. Where am I? I got a lot of headshots. Nice. Return to keep. GG. You got a lot of everything. Holy. Total kills. I mean, I did okay. I did pretty good. Oh shit. We're together. How do I claim my rewards? Oh, here. Getting better equipment will help you complete tougher missions. You get new equipment. Yeah, okay, okay. Open all three. Two of the same crossbows, I think. And open. Oh, I get to pick. Oh no, I get all three. Oh, this is really good then, I think. Yeah. Okay. What's this? Here I finished something. Oh. Okay, what do I need to do for daily? 2 missions as Carillion. Retrieve 3 grimoires. Complete 2 missions as Sienna. Okay.
Would you believe I've had reports of the Orthwani elves and the High King Thorgrim working together against Sylvania's vampires.
Okay. Open. I have 3 of those now.
Creating good times. I've walked the road too long. I'd forgotten. It's getting
Okay.
sentimental, and it'll get worse as I pour it.
Versus. I don't know what any of this does. How do I change my equipment? No, that's that. Maybe here. Equipment. No. Talents. Crafting. Game mode. Okay. I see. Basic mechanics, movement, blocking, dodging. Here we go. Doesn't say how to start it though.
You understand duty. Always stern and present, Mistress Grimke.
Who is this? That's Carillion. I need to play Carillion.
It is my hope never to find out. I shall keep to the path. Paths are slippery, Grimke. Mind your footing.
Can I leave party somehow? Yes. Alright, cool. Apparently I have... Yeah, I know I have new equipment in my inventory, but I don't know how to access my inventory. Okay, so this is how you do Versus. I want to do that. I want to be a rat. Objectives. Yeah, okay. Cool. How do I select who I want to play?
Like what we've done with the place. It's not my work, but you can thank Heather and Rosalind for that. But anyway, I think you'll find...
Yeah, I did buy the game for the rat mode.
Just remember, if you've shillings to spend, well, I'm
Apparently I
always
have
about.
finished more things here.
Call me up on the blower here.
What's this? Oh, that's the thing. Cosmetics. Talents. Pact Zorn. Okay. This one looks fun. I don't know what any of this means. Okay, here I can change my equipment, I think? Or maybe not. Here I change my equipment. I'm stupid. I want the crossbow. Bomb. How do I select rat? I might need to Google. Or I might need to play more first. That is also a possibility. Okay, I see. Sure. I think. Maybe I can't choose which side I'm on. I'll just see what happens. Can I choose anything? I don't know how to do this. I'm too stupid. Google. All right. Well, it didn't let me do quick play, so might be that I need to play more first, I think. No idea. But I did get a new box to open, so. Unbalanced rapier. I see. Oh. Okay, so this is the same but better. I see. I want to try this. And I got a new necklace too. No charm. Did get a trinket apparently. Movement speed, respawn speed. Let's do movement speed. Right. Oh god, this is a thick crossbow. Quick play. I'll play one more on recruit.
Helmgart's lost, folks. But we still have our little ways of keeping eyes and ears down there. And something's going on at the Shallian Hospice. Whole thing reeks of chaos magic. Go and deal with it, would you? Things are bad enough already.
Oh lord. I think I got thrown in the middle of a thing. Stay inside the circle. Okay. Ow. Ow. Alright. Come on then. Eh. Ay, ay, ay. I don't think I'm supposed to be in the middle now. The Bridge of Shadows? What do you mean? Ow, ow, ow. Okay, I can run. Oop. Okay. I see, I'm just stupid. I think I got thrown in right at the end of a mission. Yeah. Okay. Victorious. I didn't have to do anything. And still I get, like, full experience, I think. Yep. Okay, I mean, I'm not complaining, but... I think both of us got in at the end.
Raining again? Gets a body down, it does.
Open 2. Alright. Open 1. A shield? No, a charm. Oh, I see. I did finish another one here. Oh, see, okay, I get rewards just from doing that. I see. Sure. Oh, okay, okay, I see. I see how it is.
Hello, bro. How are you?
Those bile trolls ain't natural. Rock blood sorcerers are using some kind of altar to churn them out, and it's up to you to disrupt the whole operation with
Is
a real
it
big bang. Yes, that's right. It'll take black powder to get
audio
the job
voice
done.
chat
I know there's more than enough fireworks laying around in
off?
Greyfinkel Mine.
I'm sorry.
Use what you find.
I might try to voice chat someday, but I am very shy.
We're out here in the
The second I hear
cold.
someone talk, I die.
Let's go! Even trolls do not deserve the fate visited upon them in these mines.
Be careful with that thing.
The ladder? What's wrong with a lifting platform?
Oh. Wow.
Rise, elf. The battle goes on.
We don't talk about that.
Oh, let this potion work.
I didn't think there was fall damage. I mean, I kind of thought there was fall damage, but I'm just stupid. Don't mind me.
This way.
Mm-hmm. A chest. I got a bomb.
Fire throwers getting closer. The
Nice.
telltale sound of a rattling.
I want to explore, find things. I think there's an enemy behind. There's definitely an enemy behind.
I feel the dark gods reach up.
It's fine. I'll just join my team.
Doesn't matter how much armor it wears, it's still a rat.
Ow, that's a boss. A mini boss, I think. I need to reload. I didn't realize I had a...
Yeah, that
Okay, that hurts. I do love how my first death is due to fall damage, though. Kind of funny. I need to reload. Ow, ow, ow. Move. Move. Ooh, ammo. That's a lot of rats. Okay.
Down here. I suspect that cart might prove useful.
Push the cart. Oop. Do we need to actually physically push it?
Do you believe I am everything I seem? Or even you, for that matter?
We've all got secrets as Umgi.
I don't know.
Even Saltzpah.
But I'll keep doing it, I guess. Oh, there it goes.
I think we found that little trick up our sleeves. You know, the one that goes boom. You hit me, Crowbar, again!
I think I need to put this in the thing. Yeah. Ah. I see, I see. Pick up barrel. Sure. Come here.
Righteousness will deliver.
I hear an enemy, I think. Oh, shit. Okay, I'm fine. Uh-oh.
The cart's on the move.
You climb down ladders very slowly. Find the minecart. Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't want to waste all my ammo. I'm in pain. Oh,
I hear plague must
yeah.
nearby. Shred this kit.
I got it.
My tool reaches where your hit cannot, Strangler.
Okay. There we go. There's a lot of enemies. I'm gonna wait for my team. Never mind, I guess we're not waiting for the team. I don't know how to ping, otherwise I'd ping that it's here. Reload just in case. Ooh, ammo. Okay, they're coming. I would, I happily take the healing jar. It's so dark in here. Creepy.
Feeble fire that my righteousness burns the bright. Put that prowling, don't get caught. Die, packmaster.
Dead.
Trouble us no more.
Alright, there we go. Let's get back to this. Okay, I don't have to actually physically push it. That's good to know. Good to know. Whee! Bleh. I got knocked back. Alright.
Don't let the cart outpace us.
Uh-oh.
Through here.
Alright then. What do we have over here?
Are you happy now? It's gone. See, they've been feeding plague monks to the
Ammo.
I thought the red moon offered that dinner.
Rattling gun, alright?
I'm ready for you.
Let's get him. I like the music.
On the way.
Wah! Slaughter! Ow! Oh, that's a friend. These are not friends. I want to use this. Wah! Mm-hmm. Cool.
Potion, lend me vigor.
Ammunition, you say?
Have a good look. I'm sure you've nothing better to do.
I already have it. I already have ammo.
This way.
Yeah, we're coming.
Cat's just following.
Oh, hello. Thank you so much for the follow.
That's the altar, Dory. Time to blow it up.
Ritual site or
Wolf needs tending.
Concentration. I don't know. I don't think I need that.
Be careful. Gas relax.
The cart.
Keep back.
Oh, you're gone. Charge! Pain.
Don't let it hit you.
I think it died.
Find that hammer. There's no one to
Hello.
peace.
Oh, so you need to push it. Okay, okay. I'll push it. I'm sorry. I'll push it. Okay, you need to be near it. I see it now. I see. okay. I get it. I missed. I'm getting killed! I'm fine. Alright, we're good. What's in there? Oh. Okay, he's dead. Cross the bridge. Oh, that bridge. Ow. Okay, I'll defend us from behind. Yeah, I'll kill the troll, I defend. There we go. Up, up, up.
See that troll they place? Huh, of course not. That's not a belt.
Get him. There we go, we got him.
Years of practice, Borden. You'll have plenty more, I suspect.
Nice. Any ammo around here? No? Okay. Oh, Lord. Alright. I think the mine is collapsing. Yeah. Let me up.
See, Alicia sends the bridge. She sees far, that crow. Holy Saint,
Let's heal just in case. Okay, never mind. It's the end. Yay! Good job. Whee! I mostly care about the loot chests. What do we get? 3 loot dice. Nice. I did the most headshots again. Nice. Let's sleep party.
If I'm not mistaken, Moors leaves even
Open.
during the Uber scope.
Oh. Right. So this is how you do it. I see. Dagger? No, a great sword. It looks like a dagger. I don't like slow weapons usually, but I am tempted to try. Play mode. More? No, I think that's it. Open. Alright, cool. What is this? Chaos wastes. Mm-hmm.
There we go. Everything you need for a journey into a hellish wilderness. Plot your next step at the table there, and talk to me on the blower if you want to spend some shillings. Good luck. You'll probably need it.
No idea what that is, but we'll try it. Okay. Talent. This one. Okay. I don't know what this is. Play an expedition against your chat. I don't know. I don't know what expeditions do. So I don't think I'm gonna challenge my chat the first time I play. I want to play PvP. I want to be a rat. But this is fine.
They're not here, Azungi. Rot bloods are bad enough.
Alright. What is this?
Out of shots. Here's more.
I guess you're just supposed to survive. For now. Oh, hello. Hello, little rats. Kill them! I'll try this. Hmm? Alright. Where are we going? Down here, I think. Oh.
The coins are mine.
Begin trial?
Still no ale.
I guess so.
One of them trial chests.
Oh. Oh, that's a rat over. I'm out of ammo. Let's get the ogre. Ow.
Well done. The reward is yours.
Oh, sorry, I don't always know how to word rules right, or well, anything right, but I hope you get what I mean at least. Ooh, sure. What's this though? No. No, I'm good. I'm gonna keep this. Where are we going?
Nice. Raki Kazaki Doom Elgi. Why did I ever leave?
Never played this before, so okay.
Over
Well,
here, quickly now. Now we got some pilgrims' coins.
alright. Ammo, I think. Boom. Oh. Potion of agility. Ah. I want to reload! Got him.
You think a shield will stop me?
What's this? Seek divine boon. I don't know what that is.
Where things are going.
Maybe I should have done it.
Could use one of those gods of yours, Witelgi. Any chance of that?
Those who remain would as gladly skewer a dwarf as a
Maybe I should get that.
And how would your vaunted Grimnir look upon my path?
With mercy, if you show the difference.
Okay, I don't have a grenade, but that's pretty nice.
Bearded lunatic!
On second thoughts, maybe it's best to leave ancestors and gods out of this.
Aye, indeed.
Let's wait.
Well, at least it's nice that the characters call out which way to go when they go the right way. That's a lot of enemies. Ow. I guess. Oh, okay. He jumped away from me. Well, some of them died. What are you even? Let's go down and help him.
I need more ammunition.
Okay. Moving on.
Only hurts when I laugh, not when I breathe. You're wounded, Robert!
Are these? Are they also ogres, or are there different enemies than ogres and rats in this game?
Don't lose heart. Fight on, and the way will open.
I want to keep my weapon.
Oh, there's plenty of drugs.
I'd love some ammo, but
Come, the spoilers. I shall envy.
Oh, that's a big boy. Oh, he gone. Ow. Ow. They're just moving on. Get him! Oh lord. Let's revive. Whoa! Oh god. Oh no! What is this? Are they like empowered in this? I think so. Can I move? No. Whoa! What is going on? Yeesh. I have no idea what's going on. I cancelled! I'm gonna kill him first. There we go. Alright then. I guess one of them is a necromancer or something. Oh yeah, you look like a necromancer. That's free. Okay. Ooh, ammo. Oh, it's our teammate. He got caught by something. It walks so goofy. What's this? Exchange. No, please. No, thank you.
Come on, Victor. Let's get you patched up.
Well,
Sigma, guide me to my comrades.
is this the end or is it the next level? I don't know. Okay, it's the next level, it seems. Huh. Oh, I see, I see. Okay, I get it now. So it's sort of like... I don't know what it's like, but I get it. It seems very fun. I mean, it is very fun, but the concept seems fun in general. Ooh, this is pretty. I like it.
Never did like potions. Oh well, any port in a storm.
Get him! So yeah, if anyone in chat is like a Warhammer or just a Vermintide fan, feel free to, you know, drop some information about lore or something, because I know absolutely nothing. This is the first Warhammer game I play. Stab points. Prophetic strike. Die. There we go. So far, I'm really liking this game though, but I still gotta figure out how to play PvP. I found the hub, but I couldn't queue in quick play, so I don't know if it's something I did wrong or not. Where are we going? Oh! What is that? He healed. Ow! Leave me alone. Ugh. What a disgusting looking thing. Ow. Oh. Heal. Help! Oh, actually. I think he likes me. Right, I can block. I forget. Come here! He grabbed me! Okay, we're good. Whew. What a grotesque thing. Someone picked up coins. Alright. What do we do here? Life share. Temper weapon. Yeah, let's temper this.
A grim sight indeed.
Ow. Oh, okay. I didn't see that it was facing my way. Let's swap back to my sword. Yeah, I think it's gonna kill me now. Maybe not. Probably a stupid move, but... Yay, we got him! Okay. Taking damage reduces damage. Take blocking.
A chest of trials.
Oh, let's do bark skin.
Prove our worth.
Okay, cool. Alright, let's just follow them. So I don't know where we're going.
I found pilgrim's coins.
Strange old forest.
No, I don't want to exchange. Oh, hello. I'd really love some healing. Oh no. Okay, I'm good. Not for long, but... Okay, there we go.
Felt that one.
Oh, that's not what I meant to do. Let's reload this.
That's a rat ogre.
Where's the... Oh, there's the ogre. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Why me? Why me? I'm in the bush. Couldn't I have fallen down first at least? Oh! He threw him off! Help. Thank you. Be gone. I died. I died. Hopefully I can respawn. I have no idea how this game mode works, so I don't know if I can respawn. Okay, I'm over there, I think. Ah, so that's what happens when you die. That's probably what happened to our teammate last time. Oh. How do I change between targets? Oh wait, no, that's the necromancer who's downed. Hmm. I think we're gonna lose. Oh yeah, here I am. Yeah. This is death.
Lucky swing.
There we go. That's a loss. Defeat. Okay, but now I understand this game mode. I'm gonna play more of it tomorrow because I can't stream for too much longer. Since it's almost 11 p.m. But I'll definitely play more of that tomorrow. Awesome. Return to keep. Leave party. Where's the door? Forgot how to leave this place. I did this though. Enemies! Claymore! Which is one, but still. Open. No, I got a new hat. Oh wait, it's open. Oops. A deed. Okay. I see. Yes, this is how I leave. I'm gonna try one more time to see if I can get the PvP thing. If I can understand how to start that. It was down here. Although it says the something that will be until January 3rd, but that has already been. I'm only allowed to browse. Oh, okay, okay. Okay. I guess this. Try to join. I hope this works. Can't respawn, okay. How do I spawn? Ah, I see, okay. Ow! Okay, okay, I'm one of those. I'm stupid. Don't mind me. Okay, I'm one of those now. I see. Okay, I guess we lost. But now I know how it works. Okay. So you have to browse for a game. I see. Oh. Refresh. Oh. Why can I not create one? I want to create the game. Oops. Come on, I want to create a game. I want to play. Oops. Okay, since apparently I can't do this right now, I will end the stream for today. but I will play more Adventure, I think it was called, tomorrow, because that was fun, and I want to understand it better. And I'm also going to try to play Versus tomorrow, but it seems no one is playing that right now, and I don't know how to start one myself, so Chaos Wastes, yeah. Okay, so thank you, everyone who watched, and I hope I see you next time. Bye bye!